All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you're listening to or watching this. Today is Thursday, March 25th, 2021. And oh boy, are there's some juicy stories to talk about. So, we're going to talk about the least important thing or what well, maybe I shouldn't say the least important things, but
The most important thing, get your facts right.
first of all, what I'm going to say is the way we judge the least important thing to the most important thing is completely subjective, or it's completely our opinions. So you can tear us a new one and when in down in the comments below or at our Twitter. Oh, and by the way, if you have any questions that you want us to answer, sir, you can leave a comment down below. Send us you can tweet at us, and you can even send us an email, and we will respond to your comments. Okay, so first things first. Joe Flacco is going to the Eagles. Ty, he might be your next new. He might be your next favorite quarterback.
All right. No, he's not. Let me just get that out straight. He's a good quarterback, but he's not my favorite quarterback.
Hey, someone had to replace Carson Wentz in your heart.
Uh, I have no place. Okay, why would you say that?
You called
One,
me a knucklehead.
that was before we started recording. Okay? Okay.
Yeah, sure thing,
But
knucklehead.
watch it. I'm going to come back with something. But I think I think I think actually this is a good signing. I think he might be the backup quarterback. Um because you still got Hurts, you still got Jalen Hurts who's going to be in his second year. But you also got we gotta remember this. I don't think a lot of people remember this. You also gotta remember Joe Flacco has a Super Bowl ring. I don't think a lot of people remember that.
Right, but that was
Um,
back in what 2012, 2013.
yeah,
That was the Harbaugh Bowl.
yeah. Remember because there was a thing about who would win.
Yeah, Harbaugh or Harbaugh. Turns out Harbaugh won.
um, but anyways, um, I don't think a lot of people remember Joe Flacco winning that Super Bowl ring, but he does have a Super Bowl ring to his resume, and I think whoever starts for the Eagles, um, will you have to be happy about that because Carson Wentz didn't play good last year. Um, Me and Mark said this a couple of times. He played like garbage.
He threw a
Would
pick six to Missione Takitaki.
Yep. So like I think it's either going to come down to Hurts or Flacco who will get the job, but um there's no reason behind that because you gotta have vets in the locker room. You
Yeah,
can't have a lot of young guys. You gotta have vets that won Super Bowls that
right, right.
know what it takes.
Right. I do think Joe Flacco is probably in the twilight of his career, but with me saying that, that means that he's going to find a well of youth that, and he's going to turn the clock back 10 years. Uh,
What's your take, Knucklehead with banana on it?
not sure what that meant, but so ultimately, I don't think it will have that much of an impact for the Eagles. Like we still have Howie Roseman, and then that's and well, good thing that they got rid of Doug Peterson, but I still not, I'm still not so sure about their drafting abilities just yet. But then again, the Browns have had Jimmy Haslam for about 10 years now. They made some horrible draft picks under his ownership, and they got a lot better. I'm just gonna say that.
I just
Now,
want to point this out. I knew we were going to talk about this today.
okay. So, well, anyways, I I can see Flacco and Hurts splitting starts, like, or I guess I should say that I see Flacco is starting a few games over Jalen Hurts, just because, as you said, Flacco does have the experience, and although he did play on horrible teams last year, I mean, he was benched by the Jets. He was benched by the Jets, but Adam Gase
Oh, he
isn't
was
necessary.
benched by the Broncos too.
True, that is true, but
Like all we can say is that for Joe Flacco, his prime was in Baltimore.
right,
That's
right,
all we can say because we don't know how he's going to be.
that is true. We do not. We do not. But then again, keep in mind the past two teams that Flacco played for, their coaches weren't necessarily known for their football IQ. All right, moving on.
Here we go.
DeShaun Watson is, well, probably not going to get traded anytime soon. I mean, because he's now got 16 people suing him for they for not being able to control himself. I think it's, even though DeShaun may have had or might have better. I think that even though DeShaun has better stats than guys like Baker Mayfield, probably a good
Okay.
idea to not trade for him for DeShaun Watson right now. All right, Ty.
All right. My take on it, I knew, like I said about the Flacco, I knew we would talk about this again.
All
Um,
right, because I sent you the memo last night.
yes, yes, you text me a moment ahead, like, do you want to talk about this? Talk about this. And I knew we would talk about this. Um, but I think I think Houston shouldn't trade him. Like I'm just going to point that out. But releasing him, yeah, I get the point because he went out and one you shouldn't, like this is the same thing that happened to JJ Watt. You know?
Yeah,
Can
because
we
Bill
just say
O'Brien
that?
ruined that organization,
Yeah. So
even though he's not there anymore.
this is the way I think of it. Is that you released both of those players that wanted out of there. Luckily, you let J.J. Watt go to Arizona.
Still don't know why he chose Still don't know why he chose Arizona, but
because he has a teammate down there.
yeah, but I thought the guy said that he wanted to pursue a Super Bowl ring.
Well, we can get into that if you want, Knucklehead, but let me finish my point.
Okay, Knucklehead, go on.
All right. So I would say it's totally different. It's totally different. You release both guys, and I would say soon Watson will sign with another team and show Houston that you show. I think JJ Watt and Watson will show Houston that, oh, you were wrong for releasing us and not trading us.
Right. So I do think that the Texans missed multiple opportunities to get some sort of or to get some sort of return on both Watson and Watt. Because, well, obviously they could have gotten like a king's ransom for J.J. Watt, simply so teams could have the name. And and of and then you could have had the same thing for DeShaun Watson when he started showing signs of cancerous activity. But now that but now that it seems like he started the next Me Too movement, I don't think anyone wants to trade for him.
I would say this. If you traded both guys together, this is just my thinking. If you traded both guys together, you could get somebody back.
Oh, you could have gotten an entire team for both guys.
Yes.
Or at
You
least an
could
entire offense or defense.
you could got like a bunch of guys, but they decided to release both of them.
Yep. Well, I don't think they've released Watson yet.
They did.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it was reported yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see anything.
All right, let's move it on. Let's move it on.
Okay. That's all right. Next topic of discussion. Will Jadeveon Clowney finally become a Brown? I mean, he was spotted working out with the team on Wednesday. I know the team talked with them about negotiating a contract. So, and after seeing how Tennessee flopped in the in wild card round, do you think Jadeveon Clowney might be looking for someone that could actually at least make the AFC Championship game? Possibly.
You want to go or should I? Because I went the last 3 times.
I'll go. So, yeah, I do think that Jadeveon Clowney might want to sign with someone that made the AFC divisional round. Because Tennessee did not look particularly great against Baltimore. And there were a couple other teams that are looking for guys. Browns. That were about a missed call away or a bad play away from potentially going to a Super Bowl.
You're still mad about that, are you?
Not necessarily. I've honestly largely gotten over it. But I'm still gonna call it out every time I talk about it. I'm still gonna call it out.
Okay, we're still gonna call it out. But
yeah, because bad calls that determine the outcome of the game need to be disciplined.
But I think Clowney, there was rumors that he almost signed with the Browns. Remember that? Was that either last season or the season before that?
That was last season.
So he almost signed with the Browns. I think he shouldn't sign with the Browns last season. Now this season you're going to work out with the team. I think he was the number one pick. I'm not too sure in his draft class, but now you're saying you actually want to join the Browns. And I think they're going to be good with Clowney because you got Myles Garrett, Clowney, who else?
Assuming that Clowney gets signed, or assuming the Browns sign Clowney, they would have Garrett, Clowney, the Ward, Delpit, Greedy Williams, John Johnson, and a couple other guys that they just signed recently.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget the guys that they could potentially draft.
Really? You want me to bring? Okay.
No, not yet.
All right. But I can say this. If Clowney signs there, I think the Browns would be one of the teams to watch out for.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Do you totally agree with me on this? Because
yes.
I knew you would.
Yep. All right, so we have to move on to our final topic of discussion.
All right, bring it on.
We're gonna do more talk about the draft. Who do you think the Browns should draft, and who do you think they will actually draft? For the record, we 100% trust Andrew Berry to make the right decisions. Isn't that right, Ty?
Yeah.
All right. Don't sound too sure about that, but okay.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? I'm
just pushing your buttons, Ty.
Anyways. You just want me to get hype. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? I can tell by your smile. Is that what it is? You want me
I never said that. All right. Anyways, let's move on.
All right. You go first, Knucklehead.
All right. So, obviously, I want the Browns to draft Micah Parsons, but I realistically do not think that he will be available at 26. Luckily, there are a couple other there are linebackers that could be drafted. I don't know all their names. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah, because I think let me just point this out, then I'll let you get back to your take because I know you're dying to finish your take over there. But I think um people don't recognize watch college football and know all the players that are coming in. Like they
Oh no,
only
there's a lot of
know,
guys. There's a lot
they
of guys
only
coming in.
know they only know the top picks that are coming in, but they don't know you know the other players that are coming in.
Right.
But go back to your take. I know you were disappointed in me for cutting.
um, I would not complain if the Browns signed that guy from South Carolina. Can't think of his name right. Oh, J.C. Horn. I would not. I honestly would not complain if the Browns signed South Carolina Gamecocks cornerback J.C. Horn. Not that I watch SEC a lot of SEC football or anything, but I can definitely see him being a somewhat. I can actually see him being a decent fit, along with to go along with Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward. All right, you're up, my dude.
All right, here we go. Pinocchio.
Why am I Pinocchio? I never told a white lie today.
You got you're getting a big nose every time. So so
If I'm Pinocchio, you're my twin.
why?
Because you lied about me being Pinocchio.
All right, are we just going to talk about who's Pinocchio, or should I just get in my take already?
Well, I wouldn't mind either, but I'd prefer you to get it to state your take.
All right, I'll get into my take. Um, but I wouldn't like I said, um, exactly like a lot of people, like I said, only recognize the one for 5 picks, the big names. But
Yeah.
I can see probably like I totally agree with you if they draft somebody on the defense end. I totally agree with you there.
Right.
But they can also trade the pick.
Why
We
would you do
gotta look
that?
at that.
Why
We
though?
gotta look at that. They could also trade the pick. That's an option. That's an option, but I could also see drafting a backup quarterback. Um, but the Browns have to do whatever they need on their team because you don't know what you're going to need. Like you can draft somebody, but I would say draft a position that you need to fill in.
Fair enough.
What's your take?
I already gave my take, Ty.
You
All right,
told?
so that will conclude today's episode of the MJ and Ty podcast show. Stay tuned for next week where we don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we're going to find something.
We're going to find something. We promise you guys. We won't find something for you guys to talk about.
Yeah, it's not like we fabricate stories or anything.
Hey, we got more jokes, so
All right,
we can say
so
that. We got more jokes though.
All right. Thank you all for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. And remember, keep your head in the game, guys.